Hey everybody, serious topic. I want to talk about abuse and what I believe constitutes child abuse. And this is directed at our sons and daughters when they cut ties with loving grandparents and they fail to allow their children the opportunity to know their DNA. And I want to talk about the fact that there are certain states that have grandparents' rights, Wisconsin being one of them, but only if you have an established relationship with your grandchildren, of which I do not. I don't know what they've been told about me. I don't know if they believe my daughter has another mother. I have no idea. Nobody will let me know, and I'm not being informed. So anyways, given that fact, and even though there are rights for grandparents, it will cost you an arm and a leg to fight for those rights. God forbid your son or daughter doesn't even uphold it if you are found that you have the ability to see your grandchildren on certain days and you are granted visitation. But then on the other hand, you have your daughter's angry at you, so she's going to poison her children against you, and that's just the way it goes. And so your grandchildren grow up and they disrespect you, and it just ends up probably being unpleasant. But I want to talk about what I believe constitutes child abuse is when you poison your children against their grandparents, you don't allow them to see their grandparents, and you lie about your childhood and state that you were abused when you in fact were not. But I want to know if we take it a step further, which I have not, but a lot of schools that our grandchildren attend probably do not know what's going on. In my case, I have not met my grandchildren. I know where my daughter lives. I was never invited over. I haven't seen my daughter in many, many years, so that's the fact, Jack. But I'm sure a majority of us, if we know where our children live, could contact the schools in their district to say, FYI, my daughter cut ties with us. I had a loving relationship with my grandchild. He or she is no longer allowed to see me, and I would like you guys to intervene and see what the heck is going on. And if schools got involved and social workers got involved, it would be a whole new ball of wax. And I'm not talking about earwax. I'm talking about you light the wick on that candle and see what happens. So I'm not suggesting anyone do this, but I wonder if schools would take us seriously if reports were made, if social workers, teachers, principals, etc. knew what was going on. I wonder if they would take action and sit down and have a chit chat with our grandbabies in school to say, how's your grandma and grandpa? Let's create a family tree. Let's see if you add their names. And if they do add the names of their nana and pops, and they're no longer allowed to see them, can you imagine the suffering these children go through? I'm just throwing it out there. I truly believe when our sons and daughters do this, it is mental, emotional, and sometimes physical abuse. Because if your child once had a loving relationship with their grandparent, and you're no longer allowing them to see it, it's physical neglect. And that's just the way it is. You can say it, no, it's not. I disagree. And that's just the way it is. So anyways, I don't know if they will, if the schools want to get involved or start taking action. Who knows? If we speak up, they might. That's all there is to it. I will be back.